Can you tell me what your name and job role is?
So my name is Vanessa Lillycrop and I'm the lead for complex and medical needs at Cardiff and Vale College.
Okay. How do you think people with ALN needs are treated?
At the college, our students with additional learning needs, I think, are treated very well. We do our very best to meet all their needs. If we can't meet their needs, we will certainly find ways in which we can. That might mean talking to parents or going to outside agencies, even if it's medical, or even talking to hospitals. We will also put the student first, so we will talk to them first to make sure that their needs are met.
Okay. The next question is, do you think it's fair? As in, like, do you think the way the tutors treat the ALN students, do you think it's fair in the way that they're being treated?
In most cases, yes, I do think it's fair. There are staff throughout the college who perhaps need training on how to treat students with ALN. And I think once they've had that training, they have a greater understanding.
Yeah. Question 4 is, what support does the college provide for students with ALN?
So again, depending on the need and if they have a statement or an IDP, we will look at what the statement and IDP involves, and then we can offer one-to-one support in the classroom or put in a support worker in a classroom to do some group support. We can meet needs with students who have visual impairment or hearing impairment, and that can be dealt with by software, using a certain software so they can go onto the computer. There's lots we can do. We can signpost to learning coaches so they can even get some extra help. We can help with exam arrangements. So if a student, for instance, has dyslexia, we can put in some extra time. Or if they feel anxious, they can have a separate room. There's lots we can do, but we just need to know what the students' needs are first before we can put in place.
Okay, and for my 5th question, and for my final question, is there anything that can be done so the students are treated differently? And what I mean by that is done so that students don't complain about the tutors and stuff treating them as if they're children and things, you know, because you've had previous students who have left because they don't like the way that they're being treated. So is there anything that can be done to prevent that from happening?
So I think first of all we would need to know what that situation was, definitely learn from it, and then making staff more aware of how students with ALN wish to be treated. When you come to college, you need to be treated as an adult because you're in an adult environment. Just because you have a learning difficulty doesn't mean that you always need to be treated as a child. So it is quite wrong. So we need to do more awareness training and speak to the student and the tutor.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Okay, so could you please start off by introducing yourself?
Hi, my name is Taylor. I was an ex-student in Cardiff and Vale College, and Some of you might have known me as Samantha back then, a few years ago. And yeah.
Okay, so question 2 is how do you think students with ALN are treated?
I think for some people it's okay. I think some students are going well, but I think for other students it's more difficult and they were like struggling and they just don't really like college. So
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Um, question 3, do you think it's fair? As in, do you think it's fair with the way that everyone was treated?
I don't think so.
Okay, so those are your questions. And could you now explain how you felt when you were at the college?
So I was there for 3 years and most of the time are very hard, and as the questions were mentioned, in some extent I don't think many of us are finding the college fair because of the way the tutors were treating us, and sometimes for me it's a struggle for me to go to college because of the way they were treating us, and I don't feel like some of us are getting the things we were wanted in terms of the outcome of our time in college.
Yeah.
So I think that I just think that we should have like more options.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's not fair, is it really? Like with the way that we were treated. Because like I was in the same class with you, wasn't I, for nearly like 2 years
Yeah, pretty
until I
much.
stopped coming, and the way we were treated, it wasn't very nice, was it? Especially like when I was telling certain tutors over and over about how I felt, and they didn't, like they like it was kind of like as if they didn't like try and change. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like even after I explained to people like how I felt, it just carried on, carried on, carried on, carried on. Is that how you felt as well, or like did you ever like try and like explain to any of the tutors or the staff about how you felt?
I mean, there have been times where I'm like dying to tell the tutors about how I felt, but I guess I was just too afraid of what the tutors would respond. And the times I tried to like tell them, it's just a big misunderstanding.
Yeah. Because to be honest, like I think that's the case for a lot of students with ALN is like some students like they're too scared to kind of like speak up and explain about like how they're feeling because they're worried about how people are gonna kind of react to the questions or to what the ALN student has got to say towards that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, is there anything else you wanted to say?
I kind of mentioned earlier about like, for some students it's not like the outcome that they wanted, which for me, in some extent, they did because I was doing something afterwards, but like that's not what I really wanted. And I think
Yeah.
that's the case for other people too. And to the point where some of them have to like drop out of college and get expelled and things like that, it's a bit mistreated in my
Yeah,
opinion.
because like I remember, I remember when I was talking to you privately. When was it? Last week or the week before about it, and you said that the college had put you down for that, for the job that you've got, and they didn't even ask you, wasn't it, or something along those lines.
Yeah, I wanted to do other stuff, but like they mentioned that they haven't got many options left for me.
Yeah. Like, what sort of things like did you want to do?
I wanted to do many things. Like I wanted to do hairdressing one point and animal care, just try new things like
Yeah. So yeah, I think you do I think you do make a good point though as well. Like, because to be honest, I think like you should be like allowed to choose what you want to do for your job instead of people choosing your job. But because in my opinion, that's basically what happened, isn't it? Is you basically had like your job chosen for you.
yeah, just because I was doing like experiences beforehand, which were different to what I wanted. So
Yeah, and that's wrong. Like they shouldn't be choosing your job for you just because you've had certain like work experiences and things like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so is there anything else you wanna add?
Just before I end, um, half of the time I felt during college it was like terrible for me because like half the time I get anxiety over like certain tutors and students and the way some of them were treated towards me because like some of the students were basically harassing me and I don't feel very like same with the tutors. I don't really felt like confident with talking to any of the tutors about it.
Yeah. Is that because you felt as if as if nothing like would get done about it, or is that the reason why you didn't talk to any of the tutors, or was it because of some other reasons?
It was both because yeah, it was many reasons. So
Yeah. Okay, well, if there's nothing um else you want to say, I just want to say thank you for your time.
no problem, and thank you.
No worries. Um, yeah, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Thanks.